In today's video, I'm going to take a look at HYLN's Form 8K that they published for the first quarter 2026 earnings. And apparently right now, people are very excited about HYLN, and people seem to want it more because the stock price is going up. And if you're able to hold on this long without selling, excellent job. I wish I had that kind of intestinal fortitude, but I exited the HYLN shares that were in my tax advantaged accounts on the morning of the 18th. I put a stop loss in to sell it at $4.60, and that got executed somewhere between $4.50 and $4.60. And I thought, oh yeah, I'm smart because it was going down. And then Friday, it shot up even more. So, I mean, if you're able to hold on, good job. But I got out after I was doing some digging around, and I saw something that kind of smelled a little fishy, which I'll get into next week. And I chose to get out of HYLN. But I still do have a bunch of shares in my taxable account that are locked into covered call contracts where I agreed to sell them at $3 a share that expire on October 16th of 2026. And whoever has the opposing side of that, they have not executed the covered call contracts. So that means from their perspective, they're thinking that there's more room for this thing to move up. But just my opinion is that a lot of people are excited about HYLN, and that's causing the stock price to move up. So this is their 8Q and the key business highlights. And one of the very important things is that the unlock to getting the things moving is this successfully completing non-recurring UL certification testing of the Carnot Power Module, a key milestone for enabling customer site deliveries. Non-recurring UL certification, that means it's given for low production volume kind of prototyping and testing. It's not for like cranking out hundreds of Carnot cores, but allows them to deliver it to customer sites, because before HYLN they would say they would deliver it to the customer site, but then you see it at their Ohio facility. I'm thinking to myself, what's going on? And it turns out it's due to not having full UL certification. But they don't disclose that. They keep it close to their chest and make it look like things are going. I'm thinking, what in the heck are you guys doing? And it's due to this UL certification that they finally got. But it's for low production volume. Now, what caused me to decide to sell my HYLN position is due to the second bullet point, but I'll get into that into next week's video. On track to complete the deployment of the approximately 10 early adopter units in 2026 and commercialize the Carnot Power Module by year end. This is something that they said they would do last year and did not do, and they're trying to do the same thing this year. So they have, unfortunately, a historical track record of delaying and pushing out things. So I don't know if that's really going to take place or not. Reaffirming $40 to $50 million in expected additional U.S. military contracts during 2026. Now, I'm thinking when people read this, they're going to want to buy HYLN shares, and that causes the price to go up. Recorded first quarter revenue of $2.8 million, up fourfold by a factor of 4 from last quarter's revenue, reaffirming 2026 revenue guidance of approximately $10 million. Again, outside retail investors and institutional investors, when they see a fourfold increase of revenue, they want to buy HYLN shares. They really like that. And I think that's what's causing the price to go up like it is right now, because people want to get in on this. But the only customer right now is the U.S. Navy. That's a risk. HYLN continues to operate Carno core units at its Cincinnati, Ohio facility and is advancing towards the full 200 kilowatt design power rating. Again, they're still working on making improvements. It's not finalized, and that's going to cause, in my opinion, delays. So it could be a repeat of last year, but I don't know. I'm not a predictor of the future. I wish I could predict the future. That would be awesome. HYLN is engaged with multiple branches of the United States military beyond the Navy and Air Force, driven by interest in the platform's true fuel agnostic operation, low maintenance, and low acoustic and thermal signature, which suits autonomous operations and mobile power generation. I think this is why people are so excited and want to buy this thing, want to buy shares of this stock, which is not a recommendation to buy it. I'm personally not buying any shares right now. But there's the United States military, and that demand is now increasing. So I think of HYLN as a military research and development company right now. And when they start talking about AI and data centers, I'm just thinking of it as AI for the military, because that's their only customer. And I know Thomas Healy goes around and says, well, he cites examples for Walmart and Home Depot, but that hasn't come into reality yet. And I don't trust much of what he says based on the past. And in the risk section, these items are also still present. Our expectation of incurring significant losses and expenses and continuing losses for the foreseeable future, that's a risk. But you're seeing that the money's coming in from the military. And if you trace, and I've mentioned this before, but if you trace Coley Capital, they invested in Liquid Piston, and Liquid Piston is able to cover their R&D costs with research and development services to the United States military. And it appears like HYLN is doing the same thing, but there's this S3 filing that they're kind of holding back on. Another risk factor is our ability to retain the services of Thomas Healy, our chief executive officer. And a third one that they mention is the expected performance of the Carno generator and system, because it's not up to the full 200 kilowatts. And I would feel more comfortable if all these things would just go away from their reports that they publish, but they keep sticking them in here. So that's all I have for this video. Yeah, the stock price is freaking amazing. I thought it was like $4.50. I was thinking, well, this is it. And then a couple of days later, it shoots up again. And I'm like, what is going on? So, again, for all of you that managed not to sell a single share, hats off to you. Good job. And that's it for this video.